that I had before. It's My wife wanted like a wallboard or something like that, tile that attaches to the wall, and uh, so and we were in the process of laying tile um, on the floor at the time, so I figured, well, it probably wouldn't be too difficult to try and do, so I figured, well, maybe I'll attach the tile to the wall. Um, but I wanted to get a decent measurement. The tile is 16 by 16. Usually they're 16 inches by 16 inches, the tile that we get, and I wanted it to match the tile that was on the floor. And I've seen tile that goes on the wall. I've seen it, from let's see, 2 inches high or 3 inches high, 4 or 5 or 6, sometimes 6 inches high, or maybe sometimes even covering the whole wall. But I figured that I took the 16-inch tile, 16 by 16 tile, and I cut it in half. When you look at it, 16-inch tile, actually, in actuality, it's probably like 15 3/4 inches or something like that. So I took half of that, which was 7 and 7 7/8 or something like that, and so I cut that in half, and I ended up with 3 3/4. So yeah, it was 7.5. Well, it was about 7.5 approximately. So, and then cut it in 4. I cut the 16-inch tile in 4 and end up with about 3 3/4 height of tile. And so I'm using a crayon that the kids were using for drawing, and I use that to put marks on the tile of where I wanted to mark. I have a tape measure there that's pretty firm. If you want something a little bit more firm, then you could use one that's a metal tape measure or something like that. That's hard metal. But so I used the tape measure instead, and what I had to do actually, because the tape measure wouldn't hold, is I had to hold the tape measure really, really firm, really, really tight to get it to stay, to get it to hook onto the end of the 16 by 16 tile and stay there. See, the tile, or not, the measuring tape has moved a little bit, and as long as I have the general idea about where the markings, the line should go, then I can finish it off and darken up that line a little bit more with the crayon. The the crayon marking is kind of fat and stuff like that, so you aren't getting precision really whenever you're marking on the tile, but you're just getting a general idea. You don't need precision. I mean, you don't need perfect precision on every single tile. I've cut many tile before, probably over 100 tile. So, it's not necessary to have a perfectly straight line, because whenever you take it to the machine, whether it be a tile cutter machine that has a blade, or a different tile cutter that just scores the tile, and then you push it up against something and it cuts the tile, then you don't really need a precise, really precise line. You just need to have an idea where the ending and then where the beginning is on the tile, where the start, where the finish, and then on the totally opposite end, you need the end or the start or whatever. And that's your general line that you want to follow. When you go out and use your tile cutter, then it's gonna cut a straight line for you, whether you like it or not, pretty much. As long as you approach the machine, the tile cutting machine, at a 90-degree angle, so you're exactly where you need to be for cutting. But I'm doing the edges right now. I want it to be nice edges, so that's why I'm starting from the